Oh boy, I'm excited. It's finally time. After 2 years of having this reaction channel, I get to review one of my favorite bands, Coheed and Cambria. New album, Vaxis, a continuation of their last Vaxis album, which I actually quite enjoyed. I'm not sure if I'm in the minority on the fan base on that one, but I think it's one of their better albums overall. I think the whole thing is just a really nice love letter to everything Coheed, with a couple of new elements thrown in. And I'm hoping the same thing happens here, but I'm starting to have concerns because the lead-up singles were pretty formula. It was pretty verse, soaring chorus, verse, soaring chorus, bridge, more soaring chorus for all four of them, essentially. So we're gonna really see how it is. I didn't listen to Comatose too much, honestly. I kind of like peeked at it, but I knew this album was hot around the corner, so I just kind of left it alone. I'm still excited. Let's check out Vaxis too. Okay, so we're bringing back the Old Flames refrain from the first album. So that's definitely gonna be a lasting point. Let's go. We're back with the big intro. Take the needle off the record. It's skipping. Clean lead into second track. Okay. Very emotional, anthemic intro. Very drowned guitar element on my left here, but it's still there. Okay, so far we're in the same territory I mentioned. Just an interesting placement for a track like this. It's got like a very climatic ballad kind of thing in the very beginning. Okay, there's some really nice guitar flourishing towards the end there. Almost nostalgic. A lot of good lead work. Alright, Comatose. I've heard this once before. Like I said, wasn't really soaking it in.
Oh, come on, save me. She tells me what she wants. I don't wanna be here like a photograph.
Already noticing this is considerably more upbeat than the first album so far.
I'm so full of bad ideas, 'cause I'm so afraid. I don't wanna feel fucking keep me comatose.
Yeah, that's gonna get stuck in my head real quickly. This is a very catchy chorus there.
So don't stop now, today's the day.
Love the bass work again. Cooper just going the fuck off. Nice key tone there. A little bit of a lo-fi intro. Lead into that last chorus. This is how they're gonna stand out. If they use these same chord progressions over and over and over and over again, then this is how they're gonna stand out, is all the little different tone variations. Different singing tones, different guitar tones, different electronic elements, etc. That's how they kept the singles mixed up so far. I can definitely see them relying on that for most of these tracks. Okay, this is Shoulders. Now this is kind of refreshing. When I heard it the first time, I'm wondering if it still is. Yeah, no, this actually stands out like a sore fucking thumb after the last 3 songs.
I hate to see you go, now that you go, we can enjoy the show. You're going out of your way.
I really love this chorus. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe that's it. It's like it kind of strikes a nice balance between aggression and that soaring nature of their vocals usually. And I like how it kind of slows down the tempo of the song overall. Again, bassist going off. Nice little grungy tone on the bass too. Oh yeah, this thing is actually aged really, really nicely. Holy shit. It's just the production on this song too. It's just a lot more gritty, a lot more blown out, kind of distorted tones. The guitar has much heavier focus than the last two songs. Claudio's production's a lot more raw. Still gives me a very No World for Tomorrow vibe. An added on transition? Oh no, I just didn't hear it before. Okay. Pardon the fuck? Okay, let's go. Hold up.
He lives inside an existence, a king among the binary waves, control me.
What's happening? Those vocals! What are you people doing? Getting fucking Birthday Massacre vibes. This is so weird. Remember that whole part about like, it's gonna be formula, it's gonna be boring. Okay, I get it. We're not talking about that no more. Holy shit. Oh, this is gonna split the fuck out of this community. But this is an undeniable bop, and I will hear nothing of it. Period. This slaps like a motherfucker. This is good. Give me more of this. Disco Heat and Cambria. Let's go. The fucking balls on these guys. Jesus Christ. It's so fucking good. I'm mad. It's so good. That's the best song on the album so far. I'm mad. It doesn't stop. What? Such an interesting and different sound for them. Holy shit. But like more importantly, it's incredibly well executed. It's just like well written and catchy. It's got the diversity of all their other music, but in a completely different packaging. Got almost like a kind of Duran Duran feel. Just, 80s pop rock, but just really, really dense, clean mixes. And the amount of processing they're throwing on Claudio's vocals, like I said, very ballsy. This is the kind of shit that could backfire in such a spectacular fashion, yet they're pulling it off really well. Holy shit, that was a real. These last two songs have been incredible. There's such. Damn, they really chose violence this record. I love it. So much good bass work. Really good drum work too. The only person I think is getting shafted a little bit is Travis's guitar work. I'm not hearing a whole lot of it now, whereas Coheed is usually very guitar led. So I said the Beautiful Losers kind of gave me like a ballad vibe. No, this is the ballad of the album for sure. This is the real one. Damn, come on. It's still going too. Fucking legend. Picking it up, getting more intense. Not intense, more Passionate, big, full. It's gonna be weird going back to one of their single sounds because of just how like almost like VHS slathered the last 3 tracks have been. But hey, here's the best single. That actually flowed really well from Blood to this, honestly. Like from like a tonal, like octave area, there's very, very clean transition. By this, I will say, I love Vaxis, but at this point in Vaxis, I was actually getting a little bit tired of it. They pick it up towards the end, but this like midsection is like kind of slumpy here. Not here. They threw a right hook in the middle of this album. Holy shit.
Or do you want me to lie? To lie with me? Or do you want me to lie?
Oh, this is a perfect placement for this song, honestly. After the complete shift of the last 3 tracks, this is a great, like, kind of course writing, like, hey, we're still Coheed kind of thing. These singles function way better as, like, placeholders sprinkled throughout the album, and I'm glad that it's not just front-loaded with them, because I feel like the organization would be terrible if all these singles came before the last 3 tracks we heard, and then it's just suddenly a complete tectonic shift. That being said, we're going back into unknown territory, and I really don't know what to expect anymore, so...
I'm not here to spread your business. Oh no, you ain't got nothing to lose. Heaven and hell can't if you're
What's with the fucking Weekend song?
when you need a bad man. Oh babe, mama, watch your mouth.
Why does it go so hard? Why is this so good? This has no right. This has no fucking right being as good as it is. It's just so absurdly catchy and well produced. And his voice suits it. His voice so suits this. The way that, like, what I wanted from this album, they are not giving me at all what I wanted out of this album, and it's better for it. Like, this is a good kind of subversion. This is so unique and well executed, though. And all these songs mesh with each other really well because, I don't know, I feel like they just decided to go all in on it. They decided we're not gonna do any weird throwbacks. We're just gonna go hard on this fucking sound, and it's cohesive. Alright, this is the last of the 3-minute songs, though. I'm noticing, I mean, I know Rise Naianasha isn't really that different, but the trio of longer songs, so we'll see what happens.
Let's take a chance on forever. I'm reliving all those days you loved so well. I'll be better once the arrow hits hard. Give you the wedding that you want.
The vocal runs are just so different for them. It's not the tonality, because, you know, it's still obviously Claudio, but it's writing, the flows, the way things move, the notes they're choosing, everything else is different. It's like quintessential Coheed sound, but playing very, very not Coheed songs.
But there's something about this.
That was almost like a big long transition. The fact that the song's already almost over, that's wild. I thought we were gonna pick up and do like another chorus, but nope, we're pretty much done. Alright, Ladders of Supremacy. Yeah, we're already ominous. Okay, some shit's about to go down. You can feel the stylistic tone shift. You don't even have to look at the track listing. Like, I looked at the track listing, cheated, you know, so, alright, we got some fucking proggy songs coming up here, but listen to that. It's so ominous all of a sudden. This album's been so bright and so fun. Yeah, there's Travis, finally getting some love. blending all the fucking guitar elements together like it's a progression in an EDM song is interesting. Getting a little mathy. That fucking build-up was something else. It's so cinematic. This is wild.
Oh, we've only got one chance at this. As the world comes into view, to all come true. So how we gonna handle this? Down, boy, see you now, clown boy. Another one down the ladders of supremacy.
Yo, this is really, really, really fucking good. Okay, almost like a chain gang kind of vocal rhythm there. A lot more guitar focus. Just very driving progressive sound here. Retaining some of the kind of 80s elements from the rest of the album, but just layering on density. And they haven't just gone back to Coheed. They're doing like a different sound for them.
When the punch lands, boy, it's all about how you fall. You got heart, but sorry, just ain't meant to be.
This is the hardest they've gone on like the storytelling aspects since No World for Tomorrow, I would say. This is the most cinematic, progressive / concept song they've had since No World for Tomorrow. The scratch is an itch that not even Vaxis could pull off scratching.
So that's how it goes, 'cause who you are, take a look.
Dueling guitars.
Matter how hard you wanna play.
Really curious to see where the story goes, because everything has been so bright and inspiring, and this is so foreboding.
To lose. Climbing up the ladders of their supremacy.
Hopefully they're not talking to this fucking kid like this. Like,
Between you and everything.
that was mind-blowing. That was really good.
It wakes you up choking.
That was such a good transition. I'm fucking mad. How did they make this song fit so well?
Plays them, there's something in your way. Assuming you know where to start.
I'm just like trying to process, honestly, because like this album has no right being this good, but this is as vital, as ballsy as they have sounded in a decade, maybe more. This is fucking insane. I don't even think Afterman touches this, honestly. And I love Afterman. Like Honeymoon Period, I know, but like Jesus Christ, dude, I don't know. I didn't feel this way about Vaxis when it came out. I really liked Vaxis. I didn't feel this way about Vaxis. That song is infinitely better in this perspective with where it's placed. Like, this is the most forgettable fucking single, and it is infinitely better for where it was placed. Here we are. This is the big one. Let's see what happens.
Time has a funny way of playing jokes. Will happen next is never what
Kind of an acoustic intro here. Don't let this be an 8-minute long acoustic song. Don't do that to me.
it goes.
Little Leonard Skinner guitar in the background there.
Deep inside his eyes, right now.
Okay. Were those strings?
And so concludes this deed, not of design, but by a window of the waking mind.
Here's a simple story, and I hope I tell it well. The thing that complicates it is his parents and who they are.
Fucking go off. Let's go.
Worldwide like him. Our pride and sound. Patronizing doctors with their diagnostic leaves.
God damn, that production is so huge. It is massive to the point where it's like they're not heavy by like modern metal standards, right? But like metal standards, like screaming and all that shit. But the standards this album sets forth, this song is crushing. And the strings in the background, and this vocal run, and it just there's so much energy, dude. It's so cinematic. What the fuck? It's like a movie score violently fused with the Coheed album.
Vaxis, can you see us with your eyes?
Like a musical.
What's so life gets tough, but it's no excuse. Am I wrong, or did he save me? Crazy, who says you gotta rush to get on? Take your real life, says you go. I'll be watching you on to the team. It's okay to cry.
Number City Part 2, out of fucking nowhere. I am trying so hard. This like a be good reaction, dude. Be good review, dude. Say interesting, compelling things, but I'm just kind of floored, honestly. Which may say enough. Maybe the silence speaks volumes. I don't know. We'll see when I'm editing, I guess. Fuck you for being over. Holy shit, let's talk about it. What do I even say? This is. Do I say it? Do I fucking say it? Honeymoon period aside, first listen, reaction. This is my favorite Coheed album since Good Apollo Volume 1. This is different. This is my biggest complaint with Coheed post Volume 1 is that they kind of lost a little bit of their like mysticism, a little bit of their unpredictable nature. Everything became more of a solid Coheed sound that was developed, which is fine. It's my same complaint with like bands like Dance Gavin Dance, where like I really enjoy their music, it's really well made, but at some point there was a shift in which they solidified a sound and really started sticking with it, which is something these bands don't usually do. So it was like, oh man, you know, but it's like, oh, it's good music, but it's still, you know, it's still kind of the same. This couldn't be further. The singles are probably the most Coheed sounding thing on here, and when they're recontextualized in the fabric of the album, outside of the first few tracks, this album is just crazy. This album's insane. And it's gonna divide a lot of people because obviously, you know, if you're not a fan of synth-laden stuff, if you were looking for a more harder rock edge, you are probably crying in the club right now because this is not that. This is definitely not that. But this is just so well written and so well produced and so much variety in sound that I can almost forgive that a lot of the first chunk of the album is a kind of a similar, you know, tempo and a similar structure and, you know, things like that. Because the sound and stylistic choices are just so out there. And then the way they cap off this album with a suite of songs, essentially. Like, they didn't name it a suite, you know. This doesn't have, like, the Willing Well attached to it or anything. But that's essentially what this is 3 songs that are stylistically fused to create this really massive cinematic ending to this album. And I would really love to see what actually occurs in the events they're describing through this music, because I'm sure this will be a great companion piece to a book or a comic, whatever they decide. there's so much going on. I'm gonna start with like my like one or two other complaints though. Like again, like I said, the first big chunk of the album doesn't have a whole lot going structurally, though I will say the sound more than makes up for it. Like yeah, a disappearing act is also, you know, chorus, verse, chorus, you know, but it sounds literally nothing like anything they've ever put out, so it helps balance it out. Boy, my man, Travis got fucking shafted on this one. I do think they could have mixed in lead sections a little bit more fluently. There's just barely any of that kind of trademark guitar work, and I think they could have found ways to use it a little bit more liberally while still keeping with this evolved tone. It's just so fucking strange. like there's no other way to put it. I spent half of this album with my mind absolutely blown at all the risks they were taking and how well they were pulling it off. Like these different like synth laden 80s sections, which at the same time as being synth laden 80s sections have such a modernistic and almost, I guess, quintessential Coheed twist to it that they stand out on their own as something completely new, as something that I've not heard really done before, and something that really, really stands out on its own and is memorable. And that's the biggest thing I could say. You know, I really liked Vaxis. I thought Vaxis ticked a lot of boxes, and I had a lot of great nostalgia for the Good Apollo albums on there, for example. But it didn't make me feel like this album makes me feel. This album makes me feel like the first time I heard Good Apollo 4. This gives me that same sense of awe, that same sense of holy shit. It's so weird. Like, I'm gonna say something. It's gonna be contradictory. This whole review is gonna be kind of all over the place and contradictory because I'm just kind of starstruck by this. But this is the most Coheed album and the least Coheed album. And when I say that, I mean like sound-wise, it's not really very much like their old albums at all. Like, they went through all sorts of different new sounds, newer experiments than they have had in a very long time. But at the same time, the nature of the beast, the way it twists, the way the ending throws you for such an aggressive loop throughout the whole thing, and it really takes on that kind of tectonic shift within it, and you can feel it coming too, is quintessential Coheed shit. I think it's more Coheed shit than we've heard in years and over a decade. It's at such a weird crossroads where I know it's going to divide this, like, the community, and it's going to really be reliant on your ability to take in more poppy and experimental sounds. But at the same time, it is such a powerful, diverse, well-written, dense piece of work. I'm gonna go back in there and probably hear a dozen new elements that I didn't even notice before. This makes me recontextualize Vaxis 1, because Vaxis 1 feels more like Coheed fan service, while this feels like that big next chapter, that big step into a new world that maybe Vaxis 1 should have been. Can we talk about the fucking transition? And the fucking transition, I'm mad at how good that transition between Ladders of Supremacy and Rise Naianasha, I don't know how to say that name, was. Because that song on its own was just like, oh man, it's another single, it's just longer, you know what I mean? But the way it flowed so well between those two songs, those two huge prog cinematic anthems, it's impressive, really, that you can release a single like that and have it be recontextualized so aggressively within the actual fabric of the album, which is why, like, all that time ago, I don't really like listening to all the singles before I get into an album, because there's context to be considered. That's why. That's really why. Is because that song is a whole new song now. Great album. Fantastic album. I'm so happy with this. I know not everybody's going to be, but for my sensibilities, for the sounds that I like, and for the hunger I have had for Coheed to do something fucking wild like this is as good as it gets for me. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this album. Guys, if you liked this, please go check it out. Link down below, as always, as well as my various social media stuff. You got Twitter for updates, you got Discord for hanging out with the community, sharing music, etc. And we do a radio show on Twitch as well before every little gaming session we do, where you can bring in music and we'll talk about it and we'll vibe, probably do some artwork alongside it. Some good times to be had all around. But outside of that, guys, thank you so much for watching. Holy shit. Peace.